Being a bass player, and therefore the second half of the rhythm section, we hear about how important Steve has been for the drums and for drummers. A little bit has been said about how important Steve has been for the entire field of music. But let me give a little bit of a personal appreciation here of what Steve has meant to me as the second half of the rhythm section. In 1975, January, we were both called to play on an album by an excellent Polish piano player and composer named Wojtek Gulgowski, and he was then living in Sweden, in Stockholm, and was a television and record producer and arranger. And he wanted Steve and I to perform on his trio record. And it looked like a pretty straightforward project. The music was what you might expect for that time. It was advanced fusion, but with some quality to it. It would hold up today, I think. And the first track that we did was called Truth Seeker. Now, the reason that I remember all these details from so long ago was because it was an epiphany for me. It was an experience that began when, for our first rehearsal, Steve came over and said, "Anthony, can I see your bass part?" Sure. Now, he had a drum part, but he wanted to see the bass part. He took it and looked at it, maybe 5 minutes. I saw him counting, thinking, and he gave it back to me. I don't remember whether he looked at the piano part, but I do recall that when we ran the tune down, what came forth didn't have a great deal to do with what I thought I might hear for this kind of song. Instead of hearing a great groove, which of course was there, dynamics, all the things you expect to see, you expect to hear from a great drummer, I heard an orchestra. I heard things coming from other instruments. I heard things coming from the bass part, played on the cymbals. I heard things coming from the left hand of the piano played here, the right hand of the piano played there, all beautifully integrated in a way that I hadn't heard before. And the reason that I bring this up is that almost 3 decades later, I'm still struck by how stunned I was. I remember thinking, oh, there's something, okay. All right, I've got to know what's going on. I don't know how he does that. Without any instruction, without any cues from the composer, Steve succeeded in composing a drum part, not playing the drums so much as composing a drum part. Over the years, I found myself coming away from sessions with Steve feeling very intimidated, depressed, because I heard secrets. I heard solutions to musical problems that were not obvious. Like, my God, where did that come from? Okay, I hear what he's doing. I can divide it. I can analyze it. But how the hell did he think of it? Over time, without knowing this, it began to change the way that I play. And not to sound falsely modest here, I do pretty well. I really don't need to take from somebody else something to make my own part sound good. But listening to Steve, I always felt, damn, you know something? I just don't understand why he would choose to do that. Something that on the surface should not work. Let me give you another example. With the pianist Michel Petrucciani, whom Steve and I performed with for a number of years until his death, I believe a few years ago, Steve would often come to me before a show and say, "Anthony, when we get to letter B, forget what Michel wrote. Forget it. Just give me quarter notes, real soft. Don't do anything else." I say, "Yeah, Steve, but that section is black with notes. I mean, I think bullshit. Just play quarter notes. Trust me. Don't do anything else, and I'm going to do the same." And so we'd go out, and I'm thinking, he blew it this time. No. esoteric, whatever you want to call it. You've got to do more than that. And we'd wind up playing dum, 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 dum. Absolutely simple, absolutely straight, without any embellishment, and damned if it didn't work. Damned if Michelle didn't come over and say, wow, you guys, that stuff sounds great. What did you do? We have a combination of fearlessness, confidence in one's ability to play. I'm talking about Steve now. We have a feeling that I've seen from very few musicians. I've never gotten a sense playing with Steve that he really wished he was playing another instrument. You can sometimes hear prolific musicians that remind you that they really wish they were playing piano, if they're not pianists, or they wish they were bass players, or they wish they were drummers. Steve is one of the few great virtuosos I've had a chance to work with who feels entirely comfortable with the instrument that he plays. He doesn't come across with any sense of inferiority and is perfectly confident to sit back and give ideas based on how they sound from the drum chair. Steve sits down and plays the drums and radiates a sense of involvement, a sense of completeness, that for someone like myself that has always desperately searched for that, searched for something beyond just being a great technician, but being a great artist. And there are very few that have come along that have that kind of quality. In short, whatever I am as a performer today, a substantial amount of that goes to Steve Gadd. For all the times I've gone home from concerts and sessions and sat down and just for the life of me tried to figure out what it is that attracts me to his playing and forces me to continually re-examine my own. No matter how many awards come my way or how many compliments, the bottom line is, in the presence of Steve, I am the perpetual student that has gone on to this day. I should say in closing that I thank God for having had the chance for nearly 30 years to sit across from Steve Gadd and to have the fortune of playing along with him, to have him teach me, and to have him be my friend. Thank you, Steve.